Hi everyone, I just tried to film this video and I think I got halfway down and the card was full, so I had to stop and I'm starting over again. So what I'm trying to do with this video is to show what I have discovered by using Heidi Swapp Color Shines. Yesterday I made a video about them and showing you swatches, and last night I had some time and so I decided to see what kind of textures I can get out of them and what qualities and techniques I can discover by using them. So here is a little sketch I've done, and here I decided to use the color shines purely as I would use watercolor. So to create these roses I have just used the tube. So I unscrewed the bottle, and I think this was the peach color. And that's what it looks like. So I unscrewed the bottle, and just with the tube I then started drawing directly onto the paper and created those squiggly shapes which resembled buds of roses. And for the petals I have simply taken this color, and I think I might have used a tiny little bit of this color for darkness. And that's what they look like. So that's Citron and Teal, and that's what the settled shimmers look like. And then I basically with the tube dripped some of the paint into the ceramic palette, and then I used my water brush and took the color and painted as I would with watercolor. Same thing with the amethyst for the background. That's what it looks like. And that's what I came out with. So as you will notice, I have also made some of the splatters, which I think if you have color shine, there is no way you could avoid this step. It's just incredibly fun, and I love the look of splatters. It just kind of, you know, adds a little bit of something to your sketch without ruining it. And you know, in the past, if you, God forbid, had a drop of paint somewhere on your painting, then it sort of would be considered ruined. But thankfully we have evolved. Excuse my white bathrobe. So then so what I have learned from doing this is that, oh yeah, so where I was going with the splatters, I have mentioned yesterday that in my swatch book the paper is a rough paper, as you can see, and the way that the color shines behaved, it would take them very long, the splatters would take a very long time to dry, and still after 24 hours, as I told you, they were still tacky and transferring, and potentially, you know, they could create a lot of mess. So I have noticed that the splatters behave differently here, although you can see they were quite fat blobs. But, and especially in the middle of the roses, I literally just went and kind of dropped directly onto the paper the color, and however it has dried and nothing comes off, and you can see that the shimmers are very strong in here, so you know that there is a lot of color. So anyways, it behaved quite well. So to add some detailing, I just took my souffle white gel pen and just did a few marks, and that's it. So that's that. And then I have decided to experiment with mixing the colours. So I have taken two colours, which are these two. So butter and navy. And that's what they look like at the bottom. And decided to mix up the two by using, so I started just purely using navy. Then I dropped into some of the butter. We went into green. Then I mixed a little bit of navy again, gradually darkening it, but you see it's not as intense because at that point it was sort of maybe slightly diluted with water. And then yellow again, a bit more yellow. So here, as opposed to this yellow, this is more of a lime green, I'd say. And this is more of a, I don't know, golden green or something like that. So I got about 6 different shades out of, you know, mixing these two colors. And as you can see, you can go from dark to light and different colors. So I really liked how they mix together. It creates a really nice effect, and I have enjoyed doing this probably a little bit more than the roses sketch, because I think this is where your creative side comes out, because you can do some doodling or background painting or anything like that really. So then I thought, as I just said, that some of the color would dilute. As you can see, I have gone over with some darker over the lighter colors here to create a bit more dimension. This is what the shine looks like. And then I thought I will see how much I can dilute them to and how pastel I can get these to be. Because if you look at the actual swatches, they're quite bright and pigmented and quite dark. But you can also dilute it to a lovely sort of watercolor effect. And obviously the darkest part is where there is the most of the shimmer. So for example, in this very diluted bit, I can't see any shimmers, or hardly any, very little. But the darkest corners and blobs, splatters, have most shimmers. Okay, so if I look closely, I still can see a tiny little bit of shimmer in the palest part of it. Probably around halfway here, this is where I stop being able to see any shimmers. So that's another way of seeing how far you can take these shimmers and what you can create with them. This was me just using whatever was left over in the palette from doing this, and then I would just basically add a bit more water and pale it out. I've done some doodling on these just to see what kind of textures I could get, so that looks nice. Right, so this one isn't my favorite, but this was purely an experiment. So what I decided to do here was to use my stamp, if I just can find it. So it's this one here. The brand is called Artemio. I honestly don't remember where I ordered this from, because I think around New Year's I just went into this stamp craze frenzy and was ordering a lot of them from different websites. So this is what they, probably in a white background would look better. So you get a few florals and some butterflies and bees with an ant. So on a bigger page I have done some stamping, and I didn't like the entire page, so I just cut it out and I stuck it in this sketchbook, as like I said, it's more of an experiment sketchbook for me. So first I've done the stamping, and then I thought, let me just use some coloring, and I have so I have used butter, mustard, citron, and then teal as well to create some darkness. And for the butterfly it's just mustard. So, oh yeah, and the background is ocean. So these platters are ocean and mustard. So that's what I came out with, and I think it's okay. It's not my favorite, but yeah, so you can totally use them to color in, because if I then show you, the shimmers are very visible, and even here where it's quite watered out, the shimmers are also still visible. I hope you can see that. So that's it, not much to say. And finally I decided to use these color shines as I have seen a lot of people use them, and that is on a stencil. So for this I have used this Tim Holtz stencil. It's called, where's the packaging? It's called Doily, I think. That's the packaging it came in. So Doily, and that's what it looks like. I just show it on a darker background. So it's meant to represent doily, but to me it looks like lace, and I thought it would look lovely. Now, so I've done some spraying with peach, was it? Was that peach? Yeah. So I used peach. Doesn't want to focus. Now? Yeah. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and as you can see, I think I've done this part here. So there's loads and loads of small patterns, however the spray went right underneath and you can't see much detailing. Where you do get to see detail is where it's very little spray, and in a way I used that to my advantage and took the gel pen and decided to make to just add a few little patterns here and there to just emphasize the lacy kind of textures. And I doodled some little flowers and swivels around here, but I have to say that it is spraying it, like I said before, is a very messy method. I used some tissue paper to cover my desk with, and still, as I see now, I got some right here at the bottom and it's sprayed here as well. So I don't know, I'm kind of struggling with the spraying method, because they're so kind of, you know, once they hit, even if you do from distance, I find that they just go and spritz everywhere. Obviously when they hit the paper they kind of bounce off a little bit. So I'm not sure how to deal with that. Right, so what I've done on the other side is, when I sprayed the stencil, I had some colors left, some paint left on this side, and then I just tilted and pressed it onto this page, and that is the effect that you get, which is also really interesting. I didn't do any doodling on here, I just left it as it is. So could there be an alternative to spraying to achieve this look? I have to think about it, but basically I will definitely enjoy using them in journals or art sketches, and also creating some interesting, you know, backgrounds in scrapbooking as well. So yeah, that was fun experiment, something very different, and something that actually takes a little bit of time to get used to. If you go from watercolor to using something like that, you do have to adjust and find a way to use them to their best. Thanks for watching, see you soon.